Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Monday, June 16th, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. 6 states are under red flag warnings over critical fire risk, with wildfires breaking out in the region. And we have multiple water rescues. Well, we'll get to it. Flooding in Virginia. Keep calm. It's boom time. Millions from the plains to the Great Lakes region face early week severe weather threat. Tens of millions of people from the plains to the Great Lakes region will be at risk of seeing powerful thunderstorms through the middle of the upcoming week. So we'll get to the full forecast in just a moment. Let's recap what happened yesterday. Sorry about that. A 3-year-old is among the 6 now dead in West Virginia from flash flooding, and more are still missing. Numerous flash flood warnings and 2 rare flash flood emergencies were issued in West Virginia over the weekend as deadly flooding struck the state. Some areas in Ohio County, West Virginia, saw up to 4 inches of rain in an hour.
Facebook Live, Locust Avenue, Fairmont Campus Apartments, collapsed.
Look at that water running through the building, for goodness sakes. And we do have more footage of that flooding. Let's take a look.
When the engine company arrived on scene, they heard people screaming for help in the buildings behind me. Substantial flooding running through the buildings at that time.
Look at that.
When the engine company arrived on scene, they heard people screaming for help in the buildings behind me. Substantial flooding running through the buildings at that time. Harville was being inundated by numerous calls for.
Probably get demonetized for that stupid music, but you can see how extreme the flooding was in West Virginia as this search continues for the missing. In fact, multiple water rescues took place after Fairmont apartment complex collapsed. Flooding is heavily impacting north central West Virginia on Sunday afternoon. Videos show multiple rescues taking place at the Fairmont Village Apartments at 1116 Locust Avenue. One of the apartment building's rear walls collapsed during the flooding as well, and you just saw the footage of that. Currently, the severe weather threat is in the plains and the northern plains. We've got 12 severe weather warnings, including, well, there was a tornado warning that has now left the building. That's good news. Just severe thunderstorms in Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, and South Dakota. So heed the warnings. Come over to Tornado HQ to keep up with all the latest severe weather warning updates. And we've got 6 states under red flag warnings over critical fire weather conditions. Red flag warning indicates the potential for rapid fire ignition and spread, endangering lives, property, and regional infrastructure. The warnings follow a historic wildfire season and occur amid a prolonged drought, below normal moisture across large sections of the western U.S. And the January wildfires in California led to dozens of deaths and the destruction of thousands of structures, underscoring the high stakes for public safety and emergency preparedness in the region. And we'll show you those red flag warnings in just a moment. But we do have fires popping up in this area, including 2 big ones down here in southwestern New Mexico. This one is quite big and still growing. Quite an active fire here. And you can see the smoke coming from that fire is now spreading through Texas and south into the Chihuahua Mountains of Mexico. And you can see the number of wildfires that are now burning across the West. And many of these will rapidly intensify with these high winds and these red flag warnings, including this one here in southern Utah. And here is the full forecast. We've got severe thunderstorms in the central U.S., heavy to excessive rainfall in the Ohio Valley and central Appalachians as well. Severe thunderstorms producing damaging winds, hail, and a few tornadoes are expected through Tuesday across parts of the Central Plains and lower and mid-Missouri Valley. Heavy to excessive rainfall could produce flooding across portions of the Ohio Valley into the central Appalachians through Tuesday, which could be your lose day. You can see here flood warnings and watches up for North Carolina and Virginia, as well as, well, many of the states here, including West Virginia, in the central east, flooding potential. And here we can see all those areas with red flag warnings in the bright pink or magenta, and in the darker, the purplish here, that is heat advisories. So it's very hot and very dry in the Four Corners region, in the west in general, and the southwest. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of large wildfires expand tomorrow due to these red flag warnings and the growing wildfire threat. A quick look at the GFS model moving through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can see that severe weather threat is really kept up here in the northern plains and the Great Lakes. Friday, pretty clear there. And we're going to have something developing over the weekend, a heavy snow event for Canada, including Alberta and British Columbia. Soon be some heavy, wet snow up in the high elevations, and even in Idaho and Montana here at the end of the weekend. Let's take a look at the total snowfall from this summer snow event. Take a look at that. It looks like some areas of Alberta could be picking up 4 feet of snow up in the high elevations. And so winter is not over, even though it's summer. What a bummer. How do you like them apples? Seismic update. Most recent quake just kicking off 5.0 in Ecuador. Other than that, very low-level activity worldwide, which is good news for those living near faults. Worldwide volcano news for June 16th. We've got Nevada de Ruiz to 16,000 feet, Ducono to 12,000 feet, possible volcanic ash at Sangay, Home Reef on the list, Liwotolo to 10,000 feet there, Ibu, 7,000 foot puff, Semeru eruption was reported today, Ducono to 9,000 feet, Poas to 11,000. We've got Liwotolo to 7,000 feet, Ibu to 7,000 feet, Reventador on the list, Semeru to 14,000 feet, Merapi, increasing volcanic activity at Merapi. And that wraps up worldwide volcano news for the day. As we take a quick look at space weather, you can see we've had one impulsive M6.4 in the last 24 hours. The 3-day geomagnetic forecast is really all quiet. Good news, as a large coronal hole is still facing Earth. We've had no large earthquakes and no geomagnetic storms at all. So, going to be quite quiet as far as space weather. Apollo astronauts discovered the moon is covered in tiny orange glass beads. And now scientists finally think they know why. I don't think they know what they're talking about here. They claim that these beads, each smaller than a grain of sand, are actually ancient time capsules from the moon, when it was volcanically active billions of years ago. These scientists claim that the beads formed 3.3 to 3.6 billion years ago during volcanic eruptions on the surface of the then young satellite. I don't know if I'm buying that. Leave a comment below. Now, many people fear-mongering about this breakthrough. Antarctic scientists don't actually have an explanation for strange radio pulses coming from below the ice. These aren't radio communications from walkie-talkies due to some underground Nazi base. In a statement announcing the anomalous detection, scientists say the bizarre signals defy the current understanding of particle physics and may hint at previously undiscovered particles or particle interactions, including those of cosmic rays. And we already know the aurora belts occur in the Arctic and the Antarctic, so these definitely have something to do with that and nothing to do with an underground Nazi base whatsoever. We got bad news for you. Everyone uses Band-Aids, but did you ever think, do they contain toxic chemicals? Well, they do. They contain PFAS, or forever chemicals. And many small exposures to these Band-Aids in your open wounds could add up to a big exposure, according to environmental experts. The reason for this is that the PFAS gets directly injected into your bloodstream through these wounds and the use of Band-Aids. So Band-Aids could be causing cancer and making you sick. Consumer Reports raise the awareness about harmful chemicals in personal care products and incentivize policymakers to come up with some new regulations to stop killing the citizens. For goodness sakes. Guys, do me a favor. Come over to Luisa Asiamova, My Problem With, a great podcast. She interviewed us last week, a week and a half ago. Our interview is up. It's almost 2 hours. It's well worth your time. We talk about the pole shift, ice core secrets, ancient DNA, and much more. It's one of our better interviews. Luisa Asiamova. We implore you all to subscribe to her channel. Please do it for us and watch the video. It only has 449 views. We should get that to several thousand, I think. Please help us out. It will also be linked right after this video. And have you seen silver? Holy macaroni, over $36 an ounce. That's the highest it's been in, well, decades. And so if you're considering buying precious metals, consider Goldco, the industry leader. From precious metal IRAs to direct purchases of gold and silver, they've helped thousands of Americans diversify and protect their retirement savings every day. Request your free 2025 gold and silver kit now. There's no obligation. There are no penalties to switch from a standard 401k to a precious metals 401k through Goldco. So get the free gold and silver kit now and, well, protect your retirement. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video, hit the thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Half of you watching are unsubscribed, and we need your help to grow. And be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.